Hey guys, welcome back. So I just wanted to do a video about what's happening here in the notary world. So a lot of people are doing videos about how the loan signing market has slowed and that you're not having loans, come down the pike so frequently. And I have to affirm that it's true. But this is the opportunity right now to go out and make those relationships. And I just want to put a plug in for um, Bill Soroka, Laura Buer, and Jen Neitzel. They have the Notary Business Builder. And what that is that's a group of, um, well, it has a bunch of different training modules in it. And so you can learn how to do different aspects in the notary world. And one of those aspects is building relationships and taught by, well, I know Bill talks about it, and Jen Neitzel, she does some meetings on building authentic relationships. And what I want to share with you is my personal experience. Uh, there's an app that goes along with that where we can keep in contact with people that we come in, that we make connections with, that we can send them texts or emails or whatever to keep that connection going, which is great. And I want to share that I'm starting to have some traction with that. I actually received a call yesterday from somebody that needs some notarization done. So I'm starting to get more return business, and that's where you're going to see the power of relationships. Because how many people do you need to keep your business going? You don't need that many if they keep coming back to you to notarize your documents or whatever service that you offer. If you keep having return business, you're going to keep going. Your business will be able to thrive. It's harder to get a new customer than have a return customer come back to you. To keep those customers happy and returning to you is a lot easier to do, to keep that business going. Just to share with you, my prior life when I was working in the computer industry, the point of sale industry, I'll tell you one thing. I'd go out to fix a computer system. And so I did restaurant computer systems, point of sale systems. And I'm going to tell you, it was a lot easier to go in there and say, hey, you've had your system for a couple years. Maybe you want to add this module onto your system that you could do, let's say customer loyalty or something like this, some module that they didn't have. You say, okay, yeah, how much is that? Oh, it's going to be $5,000. Well, they might not drop down the $5,000 right when you're talking about it, but you put that in their ear, and then maybe 3 or 4 months down the road, they're like, yeah, I'm ready to do that now. Uh, let's do that. And then you're okay, great, perfect. Versus trying to sell somebody a new system. They're coming, yeah, I'm looking for a new system. Okay, great. This is what we have. Okay, great. How much is it? Oh, it's going to be $10,000. $10,000. Okay, $10,000. Okay. Well, can you do a better price? And you're sitting there going back and forth trying to get them to get your system, telling them all the benefits and all that stuff. It takes a lot more energy, a lot more work. Whereas you already have this customer that's done business with you. You have a relationship with them. They pretty much couldn't go with another person usually because they were married to you. I mean, this is specific to that business. And the only way that they could go with somebody else is they'd have to dump your computer system and buy somebody else's computer system. Okay. And I had that happen too. I had some good customers. Just a short story. I had a customer that I worked with for, I I don't even know. It was probably a good 10 or 15 years or something. And one day I went in there, they took my wife out there to dinner to her restaurant and sat down, we ate, and she came to me and said, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it. It's on me." I'm like, "Okay. Oh, thank you. Thanks." I walked out of there confused and I said, "Oh man, something's going on." Well, a few months later, found out she bought a new system. so, so that was essentially, thanks for all your hard work. We're going to give you a free meal, for $30 or whatever it cost at the time. I don't know what it was to eat out, but anyway, so the point is you need to cultivate those relationships, keep them going, and you know, keep those building those relationships so that they will keep coming back to you. In this case, a notary service, loan signings, whatever, if your relationships with the title company, have them keep calling you to do some loan closings. If it's general notary work, having them keep coming back to you to, hey, I have another notary that has to happen. Okay, great. Now the specialty notary work, it's not going to be like they're going to call you this week and the next week they're going to call you again. It might take a month. It might take 6 months. It might take 2 years. Who knows? But the thing is you want to keep that relationship going so that 2 years from now, when they're ready to adopt a kid or whatever, they're going to call you and say, hey, we're doing an adoption now. Can you do our paperwork? No problem. I'm here for you. So that's what I want to emphasize here is building those relationships. Um, that should be your main focus now when things are slow, going out, marketing yourself that you're there if they need you to be there. Don't be discouraged if you walk into some attorney's offices and say, hey, I'm a notary, I can help you out. They say, yeah, I have 5 other notaries that just came in last week. No problem. Call me when those 5 notaries aren't available and I'll be here for you. Okay, just be there. Don't expect to get business from everybody that you meet. I'm in a city of 100,000 people. Do I need all 100,000 people to call me to have my business work? No, I don't. If I get 200 people, then I'm probably good, as long as they keep calling me back over and over and over, So I just wanted to share that with you. And then also, this is the time to focus on other avenues that you can use your stamp with, So, besides specialty notary work, you could look into trusts, adoptions, healthcare, signings, jail signings, this kind of stuff. Besides those avenues, look into other things that they look for notaries to do, like field inspections. You could get into fingerprinting. I'm doing fingerprinting. If you're interested in fingerprinting, I do have a class coming up on this coming Saturday, May 7th. So if you're interested in that, you can get on board on that. There's also wedding officiant. You could be that. There's just so many different avenues you can go and take your business in this time when you're not focusing on loan signings. And actually, this is actually good that this is happening, because this will determine if you're going to continue as a business owner or not. So if you're not able to position yourself to move into different areas, and you're just going to focus on loan signings and say, oh, I'm going to run out to 20 title companies and say I'm here, and try and keep your business going that way, you can do that. I don't want to discourage anybody from doing that. I just had a lady come. She's a new notary. I fingerprinted her. I asked her, are you going to do loan signings? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, great. Here's some information. And I gave her Bill and Laura's information so that she could check them out. And I wish her luck, to do that. But I want everybody to focus on what you can do with your commission. It's not just loan signings. And actually, when I got in this business, I did not intend, when I was in the class to be a notary, I did not even know about loan signing until the lady that was teaching the class says, you should get into loan signing. I'm like, what the heck is that? Because at the time, it was the maximum I was able to charge was $10 signature. And I'm like, okay, every once in a while I'll do a notarization, make $10. I wasn't thinking that I was going to make that my career, because at the time I was studying to be a real estate agent and did that at the same time. And actually, both my real estate license and my commission expire the same day, which is a miracle. But anyway, I decided, even though I have my license, I decided I'm going to focus on the notary aspect, because I didn't want my kids to starve for 6 months. Okay. So, while I was trying to build those relationships and get some business, okay, I couldn't do that. So I share that with you just to tell you that, you may have gotten in this business to be a loan signing agent, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's other avenues for your notary, for your stamp to be used. So you need to look into those and see if you can position yourself to monetize off of those other avenues. If, maybe you don't want to be a wedding officiant, that doesn't resonate with you. Okay, fine. Then don't. Maybe you want to be a field inspector, because that will be a better fit for you. Okay. I did field inspection a couple of times. I didn't like it. Okay. It wasn't that it was hard work. I had one company, they said, hey, you need to go out and take pictures of this building because it's under construction and we need to see that it's progressing because a lender required it. It's like, okay, fine. But I had to put it on my calendar. Yeah, I have to go out this day, this day, this day. Well, that caused an issue because it was falling on the time when I was at the end of the month for loan signings. I'm like, so now I have to drive out of my way to take pictures of this place. And it had to be during certain hours because nobody's on the premises. So I didn't like it. I didn't like that aspect of it. And then the fact that they would just assign stuff to me and like, hey, we just assigned it to you. We need somebody out there right now. It's like, okay, I can't get out there right now, because I have other appointments. So I'm like, I might look into it later, but if it doesn't resonate with you, then don't do it. Okay. That's all I'm saying. But there are other things that you can do with your commission. I mean, if you're in a state that has Ron, look into that. If you're not doing Ron, look into that as an avenue to add that to your toolbox. So I'm not saying that, yeah, you're going to be a Ron and then all of a sudden you're going to be full of remote work. I'm not saying that. Okay. Right now, Ron, even though it's starting to pick up traction, it's still in the education phase as far as the public goes. The public needs to be educated and understand how that fits into the notary world. Okay. Because sometimes they can't do Ron. I have people come to me and say, hey, yeah, we notarized our loan modification on Notarize It, or notarize.com. And they said it's no good. We have to get it notarized by somebody in person. It's like, okay, yeah, no problem. So they paid double what they paid the platform to notarize it. So too bad. but that was because they didn't ask their lender, hey, can we get it done online? They just went out and did it. So that's where the education part comes, and that's another part for the notary. The notary should have asked, hey, is this are they didn't accept electronic signatures? That would have been a question to ask. And I didn't even know about that I needed to ask that question until I ran into my own problems facilitating Ron. And I ask that question now, and people are like, oh, I'm gonna check that out and find out if that's what I need to do. Okay, great. So I'm waiting to hear back from a guy that he's in Kentucky and he needs something notarized. And he said, well, it needs to be done by a California notary. I said, well, you better fly out to California then, because we can't do it via Ron, but I told him if he could do a remote online notarization, I'll be happy to link him up with a notary so that it will be legal, and then we can get his paperwork taken care of. But anyway, so these are the things that you need to look into during the slow time, and always make it a goal to go out at least once a week to promote your business to a different aspect, to advertise your business, whatever that might be. If that looks like posting something on your Google My Business, fine, do that. If it means walking into some restaurant and put your business cards in their rack of business cards, do that. If it means going to an attorney's office and say, hey, I'm over here, I can help with your estate planning, do that. Whatever that means to you to market yourself, go do it. Okay. Look into it, try and get your name out there, and you need to make yourself so that you're going to float to the top while other people are focusing on loan signings, and they're going to say, oh, I'm only doing 1 or 2 a week. I can't live off of that. I'm going to have to go get a job now. And then they're going to close up their business pretty much. And then you're going to be able to pick up those loan signings. Okay. Or you're going to be more available because you're doing it full time. And that's the stance I'm taking. I'm not focusing on loan signings. I'm focusing on all the other aspects of my business. So that's fingerprinting and specialty notary work, so that I can, if somebody says, hey, can you do this loan signing? Yeah, I can do it. No problem. But it's not my focus. So I'm not worried about if I'm only doing 10 loan signings this month or 20 or whatever that might be, whatever it comes out to be. I think this month I'm at maybe 10 or 11. I don't even know. It's probably, I'm ending the month probably at like 12 loan signings. So it's not a lot. Okay. But, I could have had more, but I didn't get more. Okay. So part of it's my fault. Okay. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Just build those relationships, build those opportunities, look for those opportunities to share that you're a notary. There's other things. Get on Clubhouse, because I'm on Clubhouse and we get some great notaries on there from around the country that are shared great nuggets that work in their area, and it might be your area. They might say, hey, there's one notary that she's always on there and shares a load of information. That's Dominique Williams. She's out in Texas, and she shares about wedding officiant, that she's marrying people. I think it was yesterday she shared that she was over at McDonald's or something, marrying a couple. If you're in Texas and that happens all the time, or in the South, because people, they want to be married, hey, you need to link up with her and get her and take her class to be a wedding officiant. I took her class. It was awesome. And I'm trying to get that going here for me. If that's not your thing, then that's not your thing. But these people, regardless of what they're talking about, could apply to your notary business, and you can implement those aspects into your business. So that's all I'm trying to share. And if you made it this far in the video, please subscribe and like the video. It helps with other notaries finding my channel and other people in general. I know I don't have a huge audience, but hey, you know, the people that are subscribing are getting some value, and I try and bring value. I don't want to share the same things over and over because there's so many notaries sharing about loan signings and everything. And that's not me. I don't want to share about loan signings. I want to share about all the other things you can do with your stamp, because there are a billion things out there. Okay, that's it. Have a great day, everyone.